Some lives aren't simple, some families aren't neat, and some stories take a little untangling to tell. This is one of them, so bear with me. This is the story of Ralph Edgar Miles. He was born Ralph Edgar McCovens on May 12, 1947, in Indianapolis, Indiana, to Lila Mae Lucky and Ralph McCovens. Shortly after his birth, his parents divorced. Lila married Harold Miles and had a baby, placed that child up for adoption, and divorced again. She remarried Ralph McCovens and they had a son named Richard, and then they divorced again. Finally, or I say finally because I'm not really sure, she remarried Harold Miles and continued her family with him. But I think there may have been a few divorces to Harold and remarriages to him, but I'm not sure. Moving on. Ralph grew up as an Air Force kid. He was stationed all over the world, but the place that he remembered most was Spain. As soon as he was old enough himself, he enlisted into the Navy and legally changed his last name to Miles because Harold was the only father that he ever truly knew. He served on the transport ship USS Hooper, living the life of a sailor with all the chaos that comes with it. One night on leave, after drinking way too much, he ended up engaged and then married to a woman named Frankie. She didn't even know his name correctly. The marriage license itself says Ralph Edward Miles. Somehow they made it work long enough to have a son before divorcing. He later broke his wrist in a go-kart accident while on leave. It healed wrong, the bone fused, and the Navy medically retired him. Out of the military, Ralph went right back to wandering. He crossed the country again and again until he ended up in St. Cloud, Florida, and that's where he met Judy. Life got complicated as it always does. There was a drug bust. Marijuana was a big thing back in the 70s, and Ralph ended up in the middle of it. Judy and Ralph married, had a daughter, and moved constantly until a house fire in Alabama sent them right back to Florida. There they agreed to stop running around, to buy a home to settle for the sake of Judy's three boys and their daughter that they shared. They had one more daughter, but by 1984, the marriage was worn itself out. Ralph left. He went back to the nomadic lifestyle. His daughter saw him twice after that. By 1999, his heart was failing. He needed a bypass surgery, and he promised his oldest daughter that he would survive long enough to see meet his baby granddaughter. The surgery succeeded, but his organs didn't. Ralph died on September 15th, 1999. Per his wishes, he was cremated and buried at sea by the United States Navy. This stone, the one that you're looking at, is a cenotaph, a place where his daughters could visit, a place to grieve the man who lived elsewhere and nowhere his entire life. So how do I know this story? He's my dad. And today I've done my part to make sure that his name lives on long after I'm gone.